Ladies and gamers, welcome to BelleNOiRtv. My name is BelleNOir and you are watching Cast My Game, a show where I cast your replays. I'm just going to run a unit preloader and close the window. Just a sec. So, why am I closing the window, you may ask? Well, that's because I don't want to disturb my neighbors by shouting out on the street. So that's why. So what do we have? What do we have plans today? As always, this is a show where if you have a 1v1 replay of at least master level caliber, you send it to me to my email bellenoir@sysnum.cz. You can find the email in the stream description below with the title Cast My Game, including a short description of what roughly transpired in the replays, and it may end up getting selected for the cast, and then I'll do a cast of it. Simple as that, nice and easy. No need to complicate things. So let's see, what do we have on the menu today? We have a couple of interesting games, if I'm not mistaken. Where are we? Cast My Game, episode 19. So, it seems that we have a replay titled Best ZVT Ever. That's on Newkirk Precinct, 35-minute length. Then we have HEADHUNTER versus DeathAngel. That's a 24-minute PVZ. And then we have a PVT from JayPower. And it is 22 minutes on Acheron Wastes. So a ZVT, a PVZ, and a PVT. Guys in the chat, which one do you want to see first? Let's see if you're actually listening. I'm wondering. So again, we have TVZ, PVZ, and a PVT. So let me just type into the chat ZVT, PVZ or PVT. Which one should go first? So TVZ, I'm still waiting for other votes. Stream just for you. Alright. So let's go with the replay that's called Best ZVT Ever. Alright, loading on in. I hope no lags will occur. I made all the necessary preparations. So let's hope nothing bad will happen. Alrighty, so Newkirk Precinct in the bottom right. Spawning as the red Terran, we have somebody who's named... Wow, that's a very interesting nickname. It's going to be CarolusRex right here. And his opponent is going to be BurnheAD, the blue Zerg, in the bottom left. Aren't the game sounds a little bit too loud? I have no idea. So this map has been adjusted. I think it's the new version. Yeah, it is the new version. So it's been adjusted a little bit from the previous ladder version that was active in the previous season. If you take a look at the main base, it's approximately the same thing. If we go over to the natural, it is roughly the same thing. But what has changed dramatically is this column, where probably your third will be. It's a lot smaller, which means force fields are not as effective here. Wall-offs are not as effective here. There is a greater chance of punishing the third base if a player decides to take it here, because you can get a greater arc with your units. You have a much more easier time forming a concave in that area. And we do see that BurnheAD, he's opening up with a gas into a pool. Very queer opening here on this map. Or maybe he won. Maybe that's just the way he likes to open. What this means basically that he'll be looking for a very quick tech. It can be, most probably it is just going to be for speed. He's going to have a 100 gas when the pool finishes up, and then he should probably pull drones off gas and devote the rest of his minerals into drones, but he is going to have that speed very, very quickly. The reason for this is that if the turn is opening up with a gas, which he is, that gives him the opportunity to get a rather quick Reaper, but this is not going to be the case, because the gas is a little bit later. So going into an expansion first. Skipping the Marine, wow, this Terran is playing really, 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 really freaking greedy. Now, back to the speed for the Zerg. If you get speed, which we do see coming down right now, and the drones have been pulled off gas, just as I said, what this gives you is, with such a quick speed, it's going to finish in about 2 minutes time, maybe even less. It's a lot easier for the Zerg player to defend versus Reaper harass, to defend versus quick Hellions. You just have that mobility advantage, as opposed to just having to defend with slowlings and queens for the longest time possible. We do see Carol's getting a bunker here on the low ground, so far he's been playing really economically, and it's not going to be a Reaper opening. That's why he's scouting with the SCV here. He's going to go ahead straight into factory with a reactor. These two buildings will end up swapping positions between each other, and he's going to be opening up with Hellions most probably, and he's going to be putting up pressure. He can optionally he can go into a starport off of this, and he can try to go for something like a Hellion drop, maybe even Widow Mine drop. We don't know yet, but he's still mining that gas, and he's not adding on a second one. So I'm kind of skeptical about the starport at this point. Yep, it's going to be a tech lab onto the barracks for those upgrades for the infantry. We have the first group of links. That's a whole lot of links that the Zerg player produced right now. He's going to try to break through. There's only one Marine in that bunker, and not a whole lot of SCVs to defend this. Zerglings bypassing the defenses entirely, running straight into the mineral line, and a lot of SCVs will go down here. But there go the two Hellions. Those will certainly help quite a lot to defend this. He just needs to keep them alive. But oh my gosh, so many SCVs have been killed already. 12 SCVs, 13 SCVs even have gone down. This is not a good position for the Terran player to be in. BurnheAD punishing the opening of his opponent very, very hard. Meanwhile, taking additional gases, putting the drones back to mining. He's 30 harvesters up versus 15 SCVs. The Terran player, he can't even afford to scan right now. He has to devote all of his energy to mules. But more importantly, he has to set up his defenses because he incurred losses. And the next order of business would be, or should be, okay, how do I hurt the Zerg right now? He hurt me greatly, and I need to equalize. And this is why we are seeing a full wall off here. Because BurnheAD, he did a lot of damage, but he lost all of those links, and he just doesn't want to devote any more larvae to link production. So he knows that the Terran player probably is going to be counter-attacking. And by building this full wall off here with the Roach Worm, the Evo Chambers, he will prevent those Hellions of skirting past, entering his territory, and frying them drones. Now, one building was cancelled. That is because we do have the Queen out. He may lose a couple of injects here, but he's blocking that. Now we do see the missile attacks level 1 and carapace and roach speed, aka glial reconstitution, going up. Colors, CarolusRex, I'm just gonna call him Rex. He's playing really, really passively, using the Hellions to harass the Zerg a little bit, getting himself some map control, etc, etc, etc. And, well, BurnheAD, he's going to be just fine, because he has a couple of roaches out on the field. Those are great at defending Hellion harass, because they have a lot of hit points. It takes a lot of Hellion shots to kill a roach. And CarolusRex, well, he's not in a good spot. He's not in a good spot. He's got a couple of tanks out, which will keep him safe versus any potential Baneling busts, or maybe even roach busts. But his infantry production is not looking that great. He's getting a third command center. He really wants to ramp up that economy as much as he can. And he's going to go into double NG base, and he will slam on additional racks later on. Let's look at the upgrades. He doesn't even have stim yet, because he's focusing on the tank production. So he's going to be looking to take a third base in a quick order here and defend it with tanks. Now the problem for him is that tanks, those are basically static defenses, and we have a whole bunch of roaches out on the map. So right now what BurnheAD can do, he can prevent that third from going down, putting the Terran player even further behind. Look at the supplies, 81 versus 120. Upgrades have not been started, or should I say further upgrades have not been started yet for BurnheAD, and that is because he's devoting every ounce of his resources into this attack. There are 3 tanks, 4 tanks right now. These roaches won't do all that much. Yeah, sure, they killed the bunker, but they are all going to die. They may get 1 or 2 tanks. Even SCVs have been pulled to defend versus this. The Marines are going down, but these 4 are in the back in a prime position to defend this. Still 1 tank standing strong. 18, 19, maybe 20 SCVs will go down. 22, a couple more, but this will end up being defended. Meanwhile, we have had the Hellion run by here. But no drones actually have been killed, so a very successful attack by BurnheAD. Still 1 tank remaining, and this is, you know, Rex, he's really on the back foot. He cannot take a third base. He just lost a huge chunk of his economy. He lost, more importantly, those tanks, which was the only thing that was keeping him safe in this game, and he doesn't have the infantry production that he needs yet, but he's getting there. He's getting there. The problem for him is that the upgrades for the Zerg have started again, and he's going to fall behind in that department. The harvester count is evening up though. With that third CC, he's been able to drop a lot of mules, which increases his mineral income, which in turn allows him to produce very many SCVs. And we have a Spire coming up. It's been scanned now, so he knows. He knows, and he does have the engineering base, so I wouldn't be surprised if turrets went up near the mineral lines. He does have quite a lot of Marines, but what is missing from this is stim. It's only been started a half a minute ago or so it will still take 2 minutes to complete. And 2.5 minutes, excuse me. So those Marines will not be as effective versus Mutalisks. Without that speed, you are kind of lacking the mobility. Mutalisks are very, very fast, and you need your Marines to be able to catch up to them. So the our Terran player is stabilizing a little bit, adding on more and more racks, and cutting tank production. There we have the missile turrets coming up. And, well, are the first Mutalisks in production yet? No, they are not. BurnheAD instead just getting Banelings and Lings and taking a 4th base. That's been scanned as well. So, let us see. Let us see. BurnheAD, well, he's moving into melee upgrades. He's getting pneumatized carapace, which is quite standard and quite normal. No ventral sacks on the way so far. There go the Mutalisks. So he's already setting up for a late game transition into Ultralisks because he's stopping the range upgrades. That was just for the first big shove, the first big timing against the Terran, amplifying the damage the Roaches can put out. And once he did that damage, he's moving back into melee upgrades, into carapace, and he's setting up for a late game transition where he will build Ultras and mass Lings. So those melee upgrades will come in quite handy. Now these Mutalisks, how many of those do we have out on the field? So 8 and 4 more, so about 12 Mutalisks. These will probably be only used for harassment purposes. I don't know how much they will be able to do with these missile turrets. Okay, only one Mutalisk in the end going down. But now BurnheAD knows. He knows that the Terran player is prepared for this type of harassment and that he won't be able to do all that much. Now, +1 melee has finished. +1 air weapons is still on the way. And he's adding on more Mutalisks. This is going to be his control mechanism for the mid-game. Until he gets to that hive, we see the infestation pit going down. Until he gets there, those Mutalisks are the thing that is going to keep him safe because they will give him map control, they will give him harassment options, but it looks like he's going for a shove against the third base. He does have a decent number of banelings and lings. The split from Carolus has to be good. There goes the stim and the tanks. The tanks are what is keeping him alive against those banelings right now. If he targets fires with the tanks, the infantry is in a good position. He needs to split now. He needs to split right now to avoid those baneling connections. Nice splits we are seeing here from CarolusRex, and basically he annihilates the majority of the Zerg forces, leaving only the Mutalisks and no Zerglings or banelings alive on the field. Very good job by the Terran player, and this is why I said that the Mutalisks are going to be the control mechanism for BurnheAD right now in this game, because basically, with banelings and lings, you don't want banelings just dying. You need to kill off a portion of the infantry because you cannot remake those banelings. Whereas tanks and the infantry, well, it's staying alive, it can get healed. Banelings, they just explode and they're gone. Wow, that was super obvious, wasn't it? So how the upgrades are looking, it's 2-2 for the Terran player, so upgrades are really, really good. He could go for a timing right here. He does have enough production back home in his main base to support such a push. 5th base going down for BurnheAD, and it was not scouted so far by Rex, but he is moving in that general direction, so he may force a cancel. He may even try to kill a 4th base while he's taking a 4th of his own. So he's playing this out really, really well and smart. He withered down the initial pushes, the initial attacks. He survived. Oh, no cancel there by BurnheAD, so that's a net 350 mineral loss. The Mutalisks are coming in, Marines stimming in, and they are going to clean this up. I said they are going to clean this up. Come on, do it. Now at the same time, you know, this that was a good idea with the double medevacs. That was a really nice idea. Aside from map control, what these Mutalisks are doing essentially is they are preventing drop playing. If you have good map awareness, which on this map, one crucial thing compared to the previous version, the Xel'Naga tower that was here before and covered the whole area around here is gone. It's been edited out of the map, so you have to use units for spotting. It looks like that Rex is trying to go for a 3-3 timing here. It is getting very, very close to being done, but a surround or an attempted surround by BurnheAD, and Rex has to kite back. Those banelings are very, very dangerous. No tank support here, so it's all going to come down to micro. Not very many medevacs either, so each time Rex stims, that's a permanent damage almost to his units. Only one medevac to heal this whole group of infantry. That's not good news for him. Those banelings still alive. He has to be really, really careful in how he engages. The army is getting really close and really low on health. Only one more stim remaining, and then the army will be really vulnerable, but he's doing a really good job of splitting and getting rid of those banelings. But as I said, he stimmed too many times one last stim, and those bending explosion is all it took, and the army is no more. Let's look at the army sizes. It's 70 versus 95, so the Terran is macroing very, very nicely here. 3 free upgrades going down for the Zerg player. More banelings being morphed in. High sec auto tracking to keep this base safe, and chitinous plating for the ultras. So as I said, the transition which foundations BurnheAD has laid down in the 10-minute mark is taking place right now. He's even keeping a couple of supply free, about 20 supply free, so that he can squeeze those ultras in. And here we have the first 3 on the way. Later on, maybe infestors, as the Terran army gets exponentially more powerful with more and more medevacs. I hope, at least, that he's going to be making more and more medevacs. Infestors would be a nice addition to lock that infantry in place and allow those banelings and ultras to do the damage. How many marauders do we have out on the field to deal with those ultras? Quite a lot. 24 marauders. That's going to be just enough to deal with those couple of ultras and withstand the baneling blows. And Rex, he's going in yet again. He has to be really careful not to overstim. He's been really trigger happy with that stim, and it's not doing him any good. He's doing a good job of keeping the creep back, though. And here we go again. Another stim will be needed. No infestors here, so he can kite this army quite efficiently, but only so long as the medevacs survive. And most of them has gone down. The tanks needs to siege up. Huge explosions by the banelings. Nothing to get rid of them. All the army is going down here for the Terran player. Couple of Mutalisks and Ultras still alive, but not enough to push into the third base, I'm afraid. With reinforcements, Rex should be able to hold on. He may incur some damage here, but I think Rex should be able to defend this. Maybe. Come on, do it. Okay, the third base stays alive. Third base stays alive. That was the important part then. But look at the reinforcements for BurnheAD. A stream of Lings and Ultras coming across the map. Fresh mules being dropped. Where is the rest of your army, Rex? Where is it? Another stim, but no medevacs here apart from this one. That's not enough to heal the entirety of the forces that are tasked with defending this third base. And I think the third base will go down, probably. Another group of Marine Marauder trying to stim in. BurnheAD has to be careful to keep those Mutalisks alive. They are very, very important right now in sniping every single medevac that comes out of those starports. Well, I'm just wondering, why is there nothing in production for BurnheAD? He's got 21 larvae, but he's making absolutely no use of those, only microing the Lings and the Mutalisks. 32 SCVs killed so far by BurnheAD, but the third base is still alive. The planetary fortress is still alive, and I gotta ask, has BurnheAD overextended here? Well, we have a huge Mutalisk switch coming up. 22 Mutas in production. This is why he wasn't producing anything. He was waiting for that gas and minerals to rise significantly high enough for him to be able to do this. And he's dumping the rest of the gas into banelings. So, seeing as there is the ratio of Marines to Marauders is kind of, or was a couple minutes ago, 1-to-1. Now it's about 3-to-1. But still, there is just too many mutas here and nothing to do with them. Even the flyer carapace upgrade is going up. And the missile turrets have been all but killed. The entirety of the army is defending the fourth base, where it should have been defending the main. But good missile turret placement prevents those Mutalisks from swinging into the main base. So the game is still, I mean, it's a lot of mutas, but the problem is they can't engage too effectively here, so they're trying to find a way out. Are they actually going to engage those Marines? That wouldn't be a good idea. Those Marines are 3-3 with stim. They have a very high amount of DPS output. And those Mutalisks, well, with 0 armor upgrades, they would fall rather rapidly. Now the problem for the Terran player is that he's getting mined out everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. And he doesn't have a 5th base. He's trying to take one now. And there was creep there before. but it's not there now. The Overlord has been taken out. So he's going to be successful in doing that. And it looks like neither player wants to be deviating away from their composition of choice. So at this point, it's all about who can reinforce quicker and who can engage better. We have an insane number of 41 Muralisks out on the field and 26 Banelings, and enough bank to remake those at least one time over. And 0 Thors. And 0 mines. So there is, for the Terran player, there is not really an effective way of engaging this mutable out in the open. The third base goes down, and that's a huge blow to the Terran economy. Oh, the Banelings! Oh my god, the Banelings catch the infantry unsplit. But it's not enough. Still a high number of Marines remaining. More Ultras in production. BurnheAD is playing this smartly. He sees that the majority of the forces on the ground that the Terran has are the Marines, and that there is only a couple of Marauders, so he's like, okay, let me switch back into Ultras. I'm gonna kill you by tech switching. The fourth base goes down as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if this triggered an all-in reaction, an all-in move, because all Rex has is only this one base, and the Zerg is on 6. Wouldn't be surprised if he starts taking bases on Terran's side of the map. And indeed, Rex is going for it. Be careful of those medevacs, dude. Activating the thrusters on them, repositioning as needed. Don't get ahead of yourselves here. There are Ultralisks waiting. You are scanning. You see them. Are you going to go for this with almost 0 Marauders? It looks like you have no other choice but to try your best and go for it, but let me tell you, it's not gonna work out for you the way you intended. 3 free upgrades are strong, but Ultralisks, man, they have so many hit points. 500 hit points per Ultralisks. 5 armor upgrade, 3 attack upgrade, almost no Marauders, only Marines and Ling reinforcements pushing this army back, driving forward with the Ultras and using the Lings to do the real damage whenever the army kites back. Overstimmed, without healing, outgunned, and out-econned. I don't think that Rex is gonna stay in this game for very much longer. And look at the bank from the Zerg player. He can afford to remax 2 times over. He could actually kill the Terran player at this point on just pure Ling reinforcements. Nothing else. Now this base might go down as the SCVs are getting killed off. And frankly, there is no mining for the Terran player at this moment. The income dropped down to 0. So another wave of reinforcements, and the Terran player is dead. There is no way he can come back from this. Nice game from BurnheAD, I have to say. Look at the supplies, 22 versus 150. That's got to be the most ridiculous supply difference ever in any game, period. At least in any game that I have casted. So let's see. Is BurnheAD going to go for this? Is he going to go for this right now and end this charade? He's just waiting for another wave of reinforcements. I think he wants to max out again, so that he doesn't even need to micro. Because when you're maxed out versus a 30 supply opponent, which is 17 of those is army and 12 are SCVs. Poor guy. He can kill him with anything. He could kill him with mass drones at this point. I mean, dude, what are you waiting for? An empty bunker? That's not gonna pose a threat. There's a couple of Marines, and I think this is it. I think this is the moment where Rex will decide that, well, okay, I might as well, and he types in the GG. The last stim of the Marines as the Banelings are rolling up on the map. No splits necessary this time. You would have to split each Marine individually. There's the GG from Rex as BurnheAD takes the game. Hello everybody watching on the stream. Hello Rakinare. Hello. Wait a minute, I accidentally closed the window. So let us see. Who do we have here? Who do we have here? We have David Thor, Gwynblade, Mac. No, excuse me. Black Mikesh, David Thor, Deadmeat, Gwynblade, Mac, Aussie89CZ, Pankrotor, and Rakinare. Hello there, guys. So that was the first game of the evening. And I am sweating like a pig. I don't know what's the situation in your countries, guys, but it's fucking hot as hell in here. I have the feeling I'm going to melt down any second. So that was the first game. We have 2 more to go, and once again I'm going to let you choose which of the 2 we should be doing first. So we have HEADHUNTER versus DeathAngel, a PvZ, and then we have JayPower versus Veitstanz, a PvT. So, do you want to see a PvZ on a Neoplanet S or a PvT on Acheron Wastes? Go, go, go. So 1 vote for PvT. It's a fairly interesting one, judging by the description as well. So we have 1 vote for PvT, 1 vote for PvZ. Okay, we need a deciding vote. I'm going to accept 1 more vote. Hello, Chovki, or Chovki, welcome to the stream. So a deciding vote. PvZ, PvT, go. Whoever types the first vote, I'll go by that. PvT says Mac, PvT it is going to be. So the Grandmaster level from Mythology, JayPower, sent this replay to us. Supposedly is very good. So let me just check if the scene is switched. Introducing in the top left position on Acheron Wastes, it is none other than the Grandmaster level player, Mythology's JayPower, the red Protoss. And opposing him in the bottom, it is going to be somebody whose clan tag I cannot even read, but his name is Veitstanz, the blue Terran. And we see our blue Terran opening up with a supply depot that is very, very close to his command center. So it looks like he wants to be as economically as efficient as possible. Sometimes you see Terran players building a wall here and preventing scouting for the Protoss player. And this map, you know, this map is very good for drops, but only as long as the Protoss player takes this base. Because then you can jump between these 2 bases quite efficiently for a time until there is enough cannons to actually defend that. One other crucial feature of this map, it's kind of easy to take these 3 bases, but sometimes the Protosses tend to take this as their natural and this as their third. Proxy locations for Stargates and DTs and Robos are also possible. For example, around here, that's a prime place to proxy a Stargate. And go with an Oracle opening or something similar. And also, the center of the map is lacking watchtowers. So you gotta have pretty much, if you position a unit right here, you are going to see this area and any units that pass underneath you. Unless your opponent has high ground vision, he cannot kill that unit because he will not see it unless he sends a scout there. So that's the only thing, apart from observers and hallucinations, that as a Protoss player is going to allow you to keep tabs on your opponent's army. Second gas going down before even getting the first Zealot for JayPower. So let's see how many probes he does have on the first simulator. 3 probes, so probably going to be going for some sort of tech expansion play. And let's see if the Terran scouted it. No, Terran has not scouted it. Veitstanz, he's just content with denying the expansion for the Protoss player while expanding himself and getting a Reaper. Following that up with a reactor. So what we could be seeing here is mass marine production. Considering he went for a Reaper, that would be the smarter choice. And there we go, a second barracks being built. That one will have a tech lab on it later on for upgrades. And this Reaper, well, it arrives just in time to see the mothership core pop out of the Nexus and possibly even dying. Wow! Whoa! 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 Oh! Wow! Okay. The Reaper narrowly escaped. Surprisingly enough, there are no Marines out yet, which allows JayPower to get a very crucial scout in the Terran's main base. And he sees the 2 racks, so what this means for JayPower is, okay, I don't have to be afraid of any Widow Mines, I don't have to be afraid of Hellions, nothing of the sort. This is going to be a infantry play, so I'm gonna drop a Stargate. Instead of going for something like quick double forge or a quick robo or maybe possibly even a Twilight Council opening into DT Harass, into, I don't know, quick storm, he's going to go with a Stargate. Now this Stargate that's a late Stargate. That's not a proxy Stargate. It's a late Stargate, and I think the decision was made after he saw the second racks in the turn base. Because now he knows exactly what he's up against. He knows the turn is probably going to go with a timing when Stim finishes. And he saw the timing of the tech lab. So he knows the push will not come before, let's say, 10, 11 minute mark. Probably with +1 upgrade as well. This Reaper, is he going to get the scout on the Stargate though?
This better be good.
He sees the Stargate. He sees the Stargate. Will he see the Oracle? No, he won't, but that should be enough. He sees the Stargate, he sees the 1 gateway and the Robo. So this will be a quick transition out of Stargate into Colossus, probably. Because JayPower is going to need some form of AoE later on down the road. Now he's going to count on this Stargate to do considerable amounts of damage. There is an engineering bay and there is a missile turret in the main mineral line and in the natural mineral line as well. 1 kill, and that's all you're gonna get, Mr. Oracle. Okay, maybe a second kill, maybe a third one on this SCV here, but not much more. Wow, okay, so he actually is doing a really good job with this Oracle before it goes down. He got himself 6 kills. That's considerable. That's not that bad. That's not bad at all. He's not going to be getting additional oracles though, because, you know, the Stargate was scouted, so he's moving immediately into Colossi, and as soon as the space is saturated and he's got the first Colossi on the way, he's going to be getting he's going to be slamming on additional gateways, most probably. He has to. I mean, the push, the timing for the Terran player is coming. +1 is on the way. It will take 160 seconds to complete. The starport transition, tech transition that is in place because the factory is completed, so a reactor and a starport is being dropped down. The third base is in construction as well. And JayPower, well, he has to scout, is this going to be a third base or is this just going to be a 2-base very, very, very heavy aggression? If I were the Terran player right now, if I scout the Stargate, I wouldn't actually mind going for a very heavy 2-base all-in / timing instead of just getting this third base. Delaying the third base and instead slamming on additional barracks would allow the Terran player to get a sizable infantry force, since the Colossus was a little bit later. It was a little bit later. Only just now the first Colossus has been started, right? It's going to pop out at 10-minute mark, which means if you were to go for a huge aggression, there would only be 1 Colossus, possibly 2 Colossus, but not enough gateways. Not nearly enough gateways. No 6, 5 gateways to defend with a drop in the main. That could cause considerable damage, and this is what JayPower needs to scout. He needs to know, is this going to be an economic continuation, or is this going to be a huge push? Let's see. He does see the third command center, and this is going to tell him, okay, Okay, this is fine. I'm completely safe. I can defend this. This is, you know, I don't have to cut probes or anything. I can start thinking of taking my third base. I can add on a Twilight Council. I can add on a second forge. I don't need to add on additional gateways at this point. Because look at this army. It's heavily dependent on force field usage. He's going to try to keep the army out. Because with reinforcements, one more round of reinforcements, he probably won't have enough firepower to fight this. Now, Veitstanz, he's not going for a big push though. He's just going to poke with this small infantry force. Just now the gateways are going down, but that's only after the upgrades are queued up, after the blink is queued up. So JayPower getting all the scouting information. This is just good decision making on his part. Double drop is being queued up. Is it going to be scouted though? No, it's not. So it's getting into the main base. JayPower sees it. Can the drop unload? No, probably not. 2 Colossi will push this away, and Veitstanz, he has to move away. Even a photon overcharge activated on the main nexus. That's a hallucination. You're not. Oh wait, it's not. It's a real Phoenix, dude. Oh, it's a real Phoenix. So JayPower did end up making use of that Stargate after all, probably keeping the Phoenix somewhere here. Yes, spotting for drops. That's a very good Phoenix usage there, JayPower. So JayPower taking his third base, moving slowly into blink play, double upgrades, stopping the Colossi production. He's got his 2 Colossi. He's going to be moving into Templars and getting more Phoenixes just to be safe versus drops. And not very good army control by Veitstanz. He's losing his medevacs needlessly. He could have flew them over here and unload, but he's only doing that right now. If you look at the resources lost tab, just losing that 1 medevac puts JayPower hugely ahead. 63 versus 63 harvesters means generally that Veitstanz is a little bit ahead because he does have that 3rd orbital command. And, well, this is just about the time where the Terran should be thinking about taking a 3rd and putting some hurt on the Protoss, quite frankly, because as a Terran player, you just gotta be active. You have to be active, because if you're not being active, then the Protoss player, well, he'll just get everything that he needs, and he'll just roll you. +3 armor getting queued up and +2 attack. So JayPower does have a slight advantage or will have a slight advantage in upgrades. Very smartly, the Terran player is getting Mobius Reactor and he's switching into Ghost. He's kind of expecting a Templar transition off of this. And, well, we don't have Templar Archives going down yet. That is very interesting. JayPower is continuing to go with Colossi. He's just going to... Oh, as I say it, there is the Templar Archives. Alright. Now, the weak point is that there is not nearly enough Vikings here. With a 4th Colossus coming onto the field, I'm afraid that if an engagement happens, the entirety of the army versus the entirety of the army, he may get 1, 2, maybe 3 Colossi, but that's only after those Colossi have done their work, after they have done the damage that needs to be done. 6 additional gateways going down. And this will bring JayPower to a total number of 12, 13 even maybe? I'm not good at maths. So, excuse me. So we have 6 right now, and 6 more. 12 gateways, yeah. So that's a very solid number you want to have on 3 bases. We can notice that JayPower is not producing any more probes. He's fully saturated on 76 probes, and he will be looking to take a 4th base and prepare for the late game. But so is his opponent. Veitstanz is looking to move out on the map. Now, this is going to come down to army control. One slight advantage he might have is that JayPower, he's not really maxed yet, but he will be very soon. Those gateways are done. He can start mass warping in units, and he does see this army approaching with the beautifully positioned Zealots. He does even know the upgrades. And he knows he's ahead in that department. A little bit. Not by much, a little bit. So he can engage this. No problem. Not enough Vikings to deal with those Colossi, but he has to preserve the lives of those Stalkers, blinking them to the side. A huge EMPs, but the storm is done. The storm is done. The storms could go down. The infantry trying to kite away, expecting the storms, but not avoiding them. And two Colossi still alive. Still alive, but the anti-air, well, not strong enough to take on the Vikings. The Vikings have not been thinned out, but the majority of the infantry is gone. That's what is causing the Terran player to retreat at this point in time. So not the best engagement from the Terran player. Actually, I have to say it was quite terrible. But JayPower not really wanting to go ahead and try to put the final nail in to the Terran's coffin because, well, the Terran reinforcement capabilities are not to be trifled with. If you have a lot of barracks and if you're macroing properly, which this Terran baby is not, then you can replenish that army number quite quickly. Do we have a Dark Shrine somewhere? No. So this is going to be just a pure Zealot Warpin, a harassment by JayPower, and he's doing this very well, I have to say. 3-3 going down for the Terran player, but that's only after the +3 has been queued up by the Protoss, and he's already getting +1 shields. So let us see. 5 Zealots being warped in. JayPower doesn't really have any more supply for that, and they're targeting down the Ghost Academy straight away. Oh, this is going to be devastating for Veitstanz. How many ghosts does he have out on the field? 4 ghosts, and that means no more ghosts for you. He's pulling back all of his army to deal with this. JayPower trying to warp in more Zealots at the 3rd base, but that's going to be cleaned up. The Zealots in the main, though, those are the ones that are doing all the work. No vehicle upgrades, and the armory goes down. So those Vikings are not going to be very efficient versus those Colossi. Those Colossi are going to be at 3 armor and 2 attack. Well, it's going to take quite some time for those Vikings to bring those Colossi down. Not a good situation for the Terran player to be in by a mile. Let's see what the harvester count is looking like. 65 SCVs, that's about a good count versus 77 probes. And JayPower looks like he's getting ready to kill his opponent right now. He's denying the mining at the 5th base as well, taking a 5th base of his own right now. And, well, the upgrades, he's still maintaining that upgrade advantage. Dark Shrine finally finished. So he can start warping in DTs, and that is what can really cause havoc for the Terran player. Veitstanz, he doesn't have any idea where the Protoss army is. He's being distracted all over the place. 1 Viking on patrol, so that's a good thing. Oh, I love this move. I so love this move, using the Blink Stalkers to cause even more economic damage. I mean, the bank for the Terran player is quite high because he's not been macroing properly, so he could remake those SCVs quite quickly, but look at this. 21 SCVs killed already. Those Stalkers is just basically, those are units to be written off because JayPower, he's going to be making a Stargate switch. Okay, so let me tell you right now. JayPower is starting to put the troll mode on. Why would you get a fleet beacon and try to go Tempests? Because I doubt it's for the upgrades. He's got none. He's just going to troll the Terran player at this point. Now, what are the units he's going to exchange for the Tempest? He does have a little bit free supply, which he can use. Oh, mass DT warping in the main base causes Veitstanz to GG. No Tempest transition necessary. No troll game will happen here. JayPower taking the game very convincingly. Nicely played, I have to say. Nicely played. I'm loving his play as of late. So that was game number 2. And after I'll have another drink, we'll go into game number 3, which will be HEADHUNTER, the one of the prominent Czech players, 3-time National StarCraft League champion, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm sweating like a pig, really. It's so fucking hot in here. God damn it. God damn it, it's so hot. So Headhunter versus DeathAngel is on the menu next. That is going to be our final game. Once again, guys, if you have a 1v1 replay where both players are at least masters, and it's between 10 to 30 minutes long. Exceptions are being made, of course, in very good games. And you want that replay casted, just send it to BelleNOiR@cesnam.cz. That's the email address that you can find in the stream description on Twitch. With the title Cast My Game, include a short description, any shoutouts you want me to make, and it might get selected, and in that case it will get cast in one of the shows. And if so, I will send you an email reminder telling you when and where you can see your game. If you miss it, there's still the VODs on my YouTube, so if anybody's watching from the YouTube, a half heart to you, because my other hand is holding the bottle, otherwise I would have given you a full heart. So just imagine that second half being there, please. Nevertheless, thanks everybody for watching, and if you want to play in a fun tournament, all you have to do is follow me on Twitter or Twitch, and you can sign up whenever I make the announcement. And I'm going to be making that announcement soon via my Twitter and Facebook. So if you're following my social channels, you should not miss that. Jumping into Game 3 right now. It's going to be Neoplanet S, Headhunter from Team nEpht versus DeathAngel. DeathAngel, a Zerg player, which we will be introducing momentarily. So, a Neoplanet S in the top right, we do have the green Protoss player, Headhunter from Team nEpht. As I said, one of the prominent Czech players, 3 times NSL champion. His opponent is going to be the purple Zerg over here. His name is DeathAngel. DeathAngel, as far as I know, and as Headhunter told me, is his PvZ practice partner, and or former PvZ practice partner, should I say? So this is a game that Headhunter sent me. It's from one of their practice sessions. Now, Neoplanet S, that's a game where you can very easily go for Forge Fast Expand. It's actually recommended. What is tough about this map is it's fairly difficult for, especially for Protosses, to take a third base. Imagine you take a third base and it's kind of long ways off from your natural, so it's a little bit difficult to defend. You have a huge entry point here, another entry point here. If these rocks are broken down, this makes for a very big ramp to cover. And we can see that DeathAngel most probably is trying to go for a hatch first, hiding that drone away. So getting that hatch, but Headhunter should know what's up. He sees no pool here, so he has to know a hatch is being put down somewhere, because the pool timing is around 1 minute 58 seconds. And there he sees the hatch, so he knows what's going to be happening. He doesn't need a Forge first, he's going to be going with a Nexus first on 18 supply, actually. He's going all the way up to 18 probes. And instead of getting a Forge, he's getting a Pylon first, and then he's going to be continuing with a Forge, a Gateway, and double gas, just as normal, because he sees the pool is going down quite late. Oh! Whoa! Ho, 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 ho! Headhunter! You! This is good response, I have to say. That's not the most traditional styles of play you could see, but it can be a fairly strong way of punishing a hatchery first, followed by a pull into a third hatch. because he sees that DeathAngel is being very, very greedy. Even before the pool finishes, he's getting a third hatch. So this is something, you know, a little bit similar to 3 hatch before pool. Now the way you can punish that are, there are 2 ways you can punish that. You can go for fast tech and take a fast third base behind that. For example, you can go for a +2 blink play, and then once you have the tech crowds set, you can go for a relatively safe third, just because the Zerg is going to invest a lot of time droning up. If it's not a fake, that is. If it's not a fake. If it's a fake, you're in trouble. Or could be in trouble if you don't scout it, that is. If you scout it, everything's fine. You will just build additional cannons. If you don't scout it, it can kill you. So after your tech path is set, you can, instead of adding additional gates, you can take a fast third and then slam the gates on later, and you'll be setting yourself up for a very, very, very strong timing. Or you can go for a quicker 2 base timing, which is just as strong, but you have to hit it precisely. Now DeathAngel, he's going to be staying on 0 gases for quite some time, and I'm more interested, because, you know, the Zerg is going to be taking the gases relatively, well, around 6:15 maybe he should be. So in a while here. And he's going to be using that gas to get a lair and Zergling speed, optionally a Roach Warren, depending on what he scouts. I'm more interested to see what Headhunter is going to be doing. So +1 is going down. Sentries are being built, which saves up a lot of minerals. And I'm seeing that Headhunter is cutting a lot of probes. 3 additional gateways are going down, so this is definitely going to be a 4-gate +1 push. The warp gate tech is almost done. It should line up with the 3 gateways finishing. Proxy pylon is already built. Now, if there are not more gateways, which there are not being built, this is not an all-in. Headhunter doesn't want to overcommit. He's going over into Robo and building more probes. Let's see, we are at 40 probes right now, so we only cut a couple of probes for a couple seconds there, just to get those gateways down. And once those gates were put down, he's resuming probe production and starting to tech up, taking additional gases. Were those gases seen actually by the Zerg player? No, they were not. So he should be going into Roach production. There we see it even before seeing any pylons going down, just as a precaution, because he knows that, hey, I have not seen any gases, I wasn't able to get a scout on you, so what if you have tons of gates stashed? And we can see DeathAngel even getting link speed before getting the lair. Usually you see the Zerg players getting a lair at around 7 minutes or 7:20, 7:30 possibly, and then getting the link speed, then getting the roaches. But right now DeathAngel is really scared, and he should be. He's playing ultra safe. Now there's one drawback to this. He's going to defend just fine. He will have the option of counter-attacking as well, but there's a huge drawback to this style of play. Immortals are going to be entering the field. Third base is going down for Headhunter. He might end up losing that third base, possibly, because there is a lot of army units out for DeathAngel. 53 army supply. He might even kill a couple stalkers here, but Headhunter is going to be retreating. He does have enough resources, if he so chooses, to wall this off or build a bunch of cannons. So one huge drawback for DeathAngel is no lair. So he has to do damage with this attack. He's trying to come in from all angles. The Headhunter is going to have to be very spot on with his force fields. He's getting surrounded here. There goes the 3 force fields cordoning and sectioning off a couple of those roaches. Photon overcharge is going to be probably activated for more stalkers being warped in. The sentries are all gone, no more force fields. The Immortal is entering the fray, but might end up getting sniped. No, Headhunter is saving those Immortals' lives, and he's going to defend and hold this. And DeathAngel, he's going into mass roach production. The Ling run by, well, not going to be efficient yet, because DeathAngel actually did not ran those lings by. He just ran them at the cannon. Very nice hold by Headhunter, and only now the layer is going down. Do we have any evolution chambers out? No, we don't. This is a fairly old style and botched, I have to say. DeathAngel made, made a bad read. He thought he's going to be all in. He really thought he's going to be all in from 6 or 7 gates. That was not the case. Only 4 gateways with a quick transition into a third base and a robo. DeathAngel did not scout it, and he set himself up for a very miserable mid-game. Very miserable mid-game. Only now the lair is finishing. Now the question is, how is he going to salvage this? What can he do? No upgrades are out. Headhunter doesn't even need to continue upgrades at this point because he does have the advantage. As long as he can keep at least 4 or 6 sentries alive for the force fields, he's always going to be able to defend as long as he knows where his opponent's army is. Another group of roaches is trying to make its way into the third base. Twilight Council going down meanwhile for Headhunter, which tells me kind of that he wants to go into +2 and blink. No need to go for Colossi at this point because all he is seeing are roaches, and so far, well, he's defending pretty well. There's almost nothing that DeathAngel can do here. His foot count is rising quite rapidly, but keep in mind those are primarily roaches, 20 roaches. They take up a lot of supply, and Headhunter does have 4 immortals here, so Headhunter is really, he does have the absolutely correct composition to battle the roaches. No more links even being built for DeathAngel. DeathAngel trying to maybe go for a quick Mutalisk transition, which would make sense in this situation, but look at this. Headhunter, so smart, already preparing for that eventuality, getting the blink down, getting the +2, and I wouldn't be surprised if he added on even more gates. How many are we on? 6. I wouldn't be surprised if he went up to as many as 9. As soon as he sniffs this out, he doesn't have the scouting necessary to make the choice though. So probably 6 gateways will be enough, especially with the amount of immortals, but he has to catch on to the fact that a Spire transition might be in the works. Nice. Headhunter knows exactly where the army is, but I wouldn't mind him building an observer and scouting with it. He's even building 2, because with this number of roaches, he's kind of starting to be afraid of burrow play, so it's going to be 2 observers, 1 for his army, the second one for the scout. He needs to know what DeathAngel is trying to do. The scout will come in a little bit later. Headhunter has to be careful here. He doesn't want to lose very many of those immortals. That's the thing that is keeping him in the game versus these roaches. Once that speed kicks in, it's going to be moderately more difficult to kill those. But as soon as that blink and +2 kicks in, he should be fine. But with those immortals, that's a huge buffer for him, a huge buffer that he has, thanks to which he is feeling incredibly safe. DeathAngel taking a 4th base, but being only on 60-odd drones or something, so that's not quite enough. 13 Mutalisks being produced. Now, will this observer catch that in time? I think Headhunter knows, though. He's building a lot more cannons. Oh, that's because there's an attack at the natural. Excuse me! A couple of roaches do end up running past, but the Warpin will solve that trouble. DeathAngel continuously trying to harass the 3rd, and Headhunter doing a very good job of defending everything that DeathAngel is sending at him. And now he sees the Mutalisks, and he knows, I have 1. I have more gateways. I have +2. I have blink. You, sir, are dead. These roaches should be killed, though. They don't even have burrow. Come on, Headhunter, warping units. There we go. Losing a lot more workers than he should have, quite honestly. Those roaches were way more cost efficient than they had any right to be, but the 3rd base is falling. All the drones had to have been evacuated to the 4th. The Mutalisks and Lings, in the meantime, though, they are going to kill some probes themselves. Do we have a mothership core somewhere? No, it's been killed, so no recall possible. And Headhunter has to make this work. He does have a 3rd base, a lot of cannons going down. He has to keep this alive and prevent DeathAngel from sending more Mutalisks over to prevent a base race. Meanwhile, He has to warp in as many Stalkers as possible. Will those cannons be done in time? I don't think they will. These 3 might go down, but these... Oh, actually, all of them might go down. Meanwhile, Headhunter is killing off everything. He killed the Roach Warren. He's killing off the lair. Oh, the Roach Warren is still alive. Excuse me. He's killing off the lair. He will kill the spawning pool. He will kill the Roach Warren on his way out. There is still 1 base here for DeathAngel. This is turning rapidly into a base race scenario. A lot of spine crawlers being built there. All the cannons have gone actually down. How many probes do we have for Headhunter? Only 11 probes. Still mutas alive. 7 mutas. Now these could get killed off by this group of Stalkers, but the Stalkers have to make their way over there very, very quickly before the Nexus falls. As long as this Nexus is alive, Headhunter is in a very good spot because he can still produce workers. He's got 640 minerals. He can even remake another Nexus, but the Nexus does go down before those Stalkers make it over there. And right now, DeathAngel would be very wise to just try to kill off the rest of the buildings here to prevent additional warp-ins and build more spines. I don't know if it's going to be enough. This is all the bases he's going to get. Headhunter has... He's being revealed. He's being revealed. The mural is still flying around, trying to avoid the Stalkers, which again do have +2 and blink. So this measly group of 10 Stalkers is not going to be at all efficient. And what Headhunter is trying to do with the sentries and the Stalkers, or 2 Stalker groups, he's trying to trap these mutas. As long as he can kill those, if he kills those, he's going to be feeling very comfortable. He's going to be feeling very comfortable because that is going to allow him to... Well, okay, your mutas are dead. There's nothing you can do to me. You have no other units out on the map. I'm going to kill you. And considering that Headhunter still does have those 4 Immortals, which have been in this game since the start, this is going to help tremendously in dealing with these spine crawlers. He still has active warp gates. Where are the Stalkers that were here just a moment ago? Are they moving with the rest of the army? Oh, that's too bad DeathAngel doesn't know. He could have killed off all of these pylons and prevent further warp-ins. Oh, and he is going to do that. Alright, he's going to do that. Meanwhile, Headhunter is trying to push up, but there's just... I don't think there's just enough buffer for this. Oh. I just hit the wrong key. God damn it. Okay. V key, that's the one I want. Headhunter wants to know how many spine crawlers exactly are out there. Meanwhile, the main base is under attack. The gateways are going to be taken down. These are all the probes Headhunter is going to have. But both players in a very tense situation. I mean, there's just barely enough spine crawlers to deter Headhunter from pushing up there. And at the same time, his former main base and natural is being killed. There is no potential for warp-ins, even if he did have the income. And you know, he can't really afford to make probes at this point. It would be moderately unwise because he doesn't have very many minerals in the bank. So every probe he makes, that's if something goes wrong, he wants to have enough minerals to build a building somewhere else out on the map. The fact that this extractor, excuse me, is still alive is the most ridiculous thing ever. And this one as well. Headhunter should send a couple of units over there to kill it. But it looks like he's able to push up the ramp with the Immortals, with the hallucinated Colossi, and he is going to kill this before the Mutalisks, Roach's Lings have any chance of killing his main Nexus. Not to mention, we still have those Stalkers over there. So Headhunter even force fielding to prevent Lings trying to surround these units or just poke at them. Not that there are very many Lings out on the map. Only 8. So Headhunter finally mustering the courage to push up. The Stalkers here have been taken out. Only 1 Stalker remaining. The rest of the 7 Stalkers is with this army. More hallucinations going down. He needs to scout with something. I don't know if Phoenixes would not have been a better idea. I don't know why he's so fond of hallucinated Colossi scouting out the map. But nevertheless, the hatch was taken down. This building and this building are the last Zerg buildings remaining. The Stalkers have been damaged but are still standing. The sentries are still alive. The army is spread up quite nicely. He knows there are no middles. GG from DeathAngel. What a game. Wow. Just wow. And you know what? One thing I have to say about that game. One thing I have to say. Those cannons at the third, if HEADHUNTER had put those cannons down 15 seconds earlier, the base race, I think, would not have happened. I think that third Nexus would just continue to be there. Those cannons would be enough. HEADHUNTER would just push with his army to kill all the Zerg bases and just make the rest of his warbands at the third base. And with those cannons, couple of sentries, a lot of Stalkers, nothing would be able to touch him at that point. 15-second difference. 15-second difference between total domination and a close game. This is StarCraft, ladies and gentlemen. This is how StarCraft works. So, I hope you enjoy those games. I hope you enjoy the casting. I really like good games. I really like games from good players because then I'm trying even harder to cast better, if you know what I mean. So, HEADHUNTER, if you are watching this, I hope I did you justice. I hope I did not mess up your brilliance in that game. I hope you found it enjoyable to watch. Who won the PvT? JayPower won. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope all you other guys enjoyed the cast as well. I'm going to be signing off, just recapping what else is going on with this stream and with me. So in a couple weeks, I'm going to be starting casting 2 events. One will be a monthly tournament sponsored by UCAP and Clan Mythology. I'm going to be doing that with Vokto Gaming, aka Jesse Rain, the vocal terrorist. That's going to be once a month for €75. You can join that. Then I'm going to be doing one other event, which I'm going to be posting details on very, very shortly. It's a UK only event, or should be, and it's going to be once per week. Every Wednesday, I think it should be. Then very shortly, I'm going to be making an announcement regarding Followers Tournaments number 9, which is a $108 tournament for the followers of my Twitter or Facebook, Twitter or stream here on this channel. And what else? What else? Continuing to do Cast My Game. So, if you know anyone who has good games, or if you yourself have good games, you know my email address, BelleNOiR@sysnum.cz. Title, Cast My Game, given to me. I'm starting to run out of replays. And of course, your feedback in the Team Liquid thread is highly, highly, highly appreciated, because that bumps up the thread. I'm not gonna lie, it bumps up the thread, gives it a little bit more visibility, so hopefully more players will start sending in their replays, and not only the 6 players or so that are sending the replays so far. So if you want to help, I would appreciate any feedback you want to give in this thread. Just tell me I am terrible, or tell me I am awesome, or tell me what I should be working on. Also on YouTube, guys, if you're watching, be sure to comment. I am reading everything because there is not that much to read. But I'm reading everything. So, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go now because I'm hungry as hell and I need to undress because I'm sweating like a pig. Don't get any funny ideas. Until next time, just stay safe, good luck, have fun, and remember to storm first and ask questions later, guys.